Hello, welcome to the live stream. Today we're going over stretching for flexibility. Now, this is going to be a follow-along stretching routine, working specifically on, we're going to be focusing on the lower body today, so a lot of legs and hip stretching. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat and I'll get to them as quick as I can. If we haven't met yet, my name is Greg and I have a degree in exercise science and 10 years of experience working with clients to achieve their fitness goals. So welcome if you're new, and I love questions, so if you need to know anything or if you have comments or things you want to talk about, let me know in the chat. I always love to have new people show up. So today we're going to be focusing on stretching in the legs. So we're going to start out by stretching the muscles in the front of the thigh called the quads. This is going to be a standing quad stretch. So these muscles run from the front of your hips down into your knee. I find these are really good to focus on. A lot of people focus on strengthening their quads, but not as many people focus on stretching and that flexibility, which is part of fitness. You actually have, cardio and muscular strength, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, but flexibility is also a part of that fitness. So for quads, what we're going to do is you're going to reach around, grab your ankle, and then pull up to the back. You should feel a stretch in the front of your thigh. Now, if you can bring your heel all the way up to the back of your hip. Just go to where you feel a stretch or a tension feeling, but no pain. If it hurts, back off a little bit from it. You're pulling too hard. So pulling up to the back, and we're gonna hold this stretch for at least 20 seconds. Now you wanna hold the stretch. For this type of stretching, we're doing what's called static stretching. It's a held stretch, and that's letting the muscle relax into that position, get used to that new level of tension. You actually have nerve fibers in your muscles that are readjusting. There are things called the muscle spindles and the Golgi tendon organs. Both those are defensive mechanisms in your muscle that help it so it doesn't have too much tension or rapidly change in length. But as we stretch, we actually are readjusting those sensors in your, it's like recalibrating your muscles. And same thing on the other side. Ali says hi from Turkey. Hi Ali, welcome to the live stream. So today we're doing some quad stretching for starting. This is good. I'm Greg. This is going to be a follow-along stretching routine. So if you'd like to follow along with me, working on flexibility, and if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. So this is stretching the muscles in the front of the thigh. You should feel a tension but no pain as you're pulling your ankle up to the back. Corby says, I actually don't even know what that is. Justice says hi Justice, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for being here. Hello Athena, and Little Nan says flexin', welcome. Today we're working on some flexibility for the legs. So we just stretched the quad muscles. Now we're going to stretch the muscles in the back called the hamstrings. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. If you have a different way of doing this that works well for you, let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear about a different stretch. What I found works for me, and what I like teaching my clients, is you're going to put one foot out in front. That's the leg we're going to be stretching. And from here, you're going to bring your chest forward till you feel a stretch feeling in the back of your thigh. Kaya Stevie says Sigma. I'm not sure quite what that means, but I guess, thanks. And Run says hi Run. So holding that stretch, we're gonna stretch the hamstrings, which run along the back of your thigh, trying to hold for at least 20 seconds. On all these, we're holding the stretch to help get the muscle used to that new length. We're putting it into a lengthened position and then holding it there to get the muscle acclimated to that new length. You're readjusting those nerves. definitely an exercise. I mean, you can kind of think it is a stretching exercise. So now we're going to switch to the other side. So leg out in front. You're stretching the back of the thigh, right? It goes all the way from the back of the knee up into the hip. So from here, you're going to bring your chest forward, holding that stretch. So if you're just joining us, I'm Greg. We're doing stretching for flexibility. So this is going to be a follow along stretching routine. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. And holding that stretch for 20 seconds. We're focusing primarily on the legs today, but if you have any other questions or stretches you like in the upper body, let me know. See if we can do those today. The Hire says 40 viewers and only 4 likes. Come on, hit the like button. Hey, thank you, Hire. Appreciate it. All right, so now we're going to stretch the calf muscle, which runs from the back of the knee down into the ankle and back of the heel. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your foot up against the wall. So your toe is pressed up against that wall. And then you're going to do something similar to what we just did. You're going to bring your chest forward, and you should feel that stretch in that front calf muscle right back in here. So as you come forward, you should feel that stretch. Trying to really bring that toe up. Caleb, I don't know quite what that means. This is actually the densest muscle in the body, is that calf muscle. So putting your toe up onto the wall or onto something just solid. You can use a post, you can use a wall. Caleb asks, can you do a cat and cow stretch? Yeah, we can do that. We will do that one next. It's a great stretch. I think, so cat and cow, I think yoga calls it that. I always learned it as cat and camel, but I'm pretty sure it's the same stretch. You'll let me know though. Let me know if it is a little different than what you guys do. So, holding all these stretches for 20 seconds. So the cat and cow is a little bit different of a stretch. Oh, Sigma is a stretch. I actually don't know what a Sigma stretch is, but I have heard of cat and cow before. So this one's a little bit different. It's not a static stretch. So this is a moving stretch. We're going to be moving the spine through its full range of motion. So you're going to go onto your hands and knees. And from here, you're going to push your middle of your back. You want to push right at your rib cage upwards towards the ceiling. So you're going to push up towards the ceiling and then down towards the ground. Now, really trying to think about your rib cage dropping down and then pushing up. You should feel this through your entire spine. Now, you could probably do this in holds for 20 seconds at each spot. I like to do this one though, just a 1 second count each direction, moving the spine through its range. Going for about 10 to 20 of these. Like this because it rocks your spine back and forth and gets some of that, what's called thoracic extension. And then thoracic flexion, where you're moving that rib cage. It's really good for your low back actually too, because what can happen is your middle back can stiffen, and then your low back has to move twice as far to do the same, to keep the spine in line. So it compensates for it. So that's a great stretch, especially for the rib cage. And it can go affect all the way down into here. You might even feel it down into your leg a little bit. The problem can start up here, but you might feel low back pain all the way down. All right, so actually we're gonna stay on the ground. We're gonna do a V-sit. If you're just joining us, we're doing a stretching routine. This is gonna be a follow along stretching routine, improving flexibility in the legs. If we're just meeting, I'm Greg. Thank you everyone for being here. So we're gonna do a V-sit for these muscles right here on the inner part of the thigh. So what you're gonna do, bring your feet out as wide as you can. The wider you go, the more intense this stretch is gonna be. Then you're gonna put one hand over the top of the other and then reach straight out in front of you, reaching as far forward as you can. So you're gonna try and hold that stretch for 20 seconds. Feel a good stretch right in here. These muscles attach up in the hip, and then one of them actually goes all the way down to the inside of the knee. So holding that stretch. Wild Food says Gregory. Hi, Wild Food. How are you? Holding that stretch. So these are the adductors of the hip. They pull the hips in together. Also, if they're tight, they can actually make it hard for you to deep squat. Oh no, you feel the pain? So it shouldn't be painful, you should just feel tension. You might need to back off a little from the stretch. If you need to, just bring your feet a little closer together and then go down, just to reduce that. You don't want it to be hurtful, you just want to feel tension. All right, so that was stretching the inside of the thigh. Now we're gonna stretch the outside. So you're gonna lay down on your back and you're going to bring one knee up and then the other leg straight. We're gonna be stretching this bent knee. So from here, you're gonna grab with the opposite hand and pull over and across your body. You should feel a stretch here in this hip on the outside. So this is the abductors of the hip with a B. They pull the hip out and away this direction. So we're stretching by going across the body. And holding for 20 seconds. Took the advice, I felt tension and less burn. Oh good, that's excellent. Caleb, I just dislocated my knee. Oh no! So that's definitely, you've gone too far. Don't go quite that hard on the stretch. Mia says, oh, hello Mia. If you're just joining us, I'm Greg. Welcome to the live stream. We're doing flexibility for the lower body today. So bring your knee up. We're gonna be stretching the muscles on the outside of the hip. Gently pull on your leg, careful not to pull on your kneecap. Don't want to have, you don't want to pull too hard right at the kneecap. Try and grab right above or right below that kneecap. And you should feel a stretch on the outside of your hip. These, I find with working with a lot of variety of clients, very few people do this stretch, and most people I've worked with have been tight in this muscle group, where suddenly when we stretch this, they felt their hips were a lot looser, their low back even was looser, or they relieved tension, where the entire thing cascaded up into that low back. And as we got this more flexible, it improved the mechanics of their entire lower body. And relax. All right. So now what we're gonna do is stretch for the muscles in the front of the hip. These are the deep hip flexors that run from the front of your hip down into your thigh. They actually attach up at your spine right behind your hips. Hang on one sec. So Wild Food says, I stretch my leg going away from my body. Is that bad? With your stretched with your leg going away from your body. So are you saying like this, where your leg went out to the side, away? So that's a different stretch. It's not bad. I personally like to do that one a little bit more like this, where I'm up against a wall and then with my legs out to the side. So I'm sort of working on my splits. The closer you are to a wall, the more intense that stretch is gonna be. So it works these muscles right here on the inside of the thigh. So I like to do that one because I have the support of the wall, but it's not a bad stretch, it's just a little bit different. The one we were doing was pulling over and across this way, across your body for the stretch out here. Caleb, definitely do not dislocate the other knee to make it even. One dislocated knee is enough. 100 IQ moves, isn't that average though? Isn't 100 IQ average? But thank you, I appreciate it. I think you meant it as a compliment, so I will take it. Nice to know I'm hitting the midline at least. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we're working on flexibility for the legs. This is going to be a follow-along routine. I'm Greg. I have a degree in exercise science and 10 years of experience working with clients. So I'm here to help you if you have any questions, or if you have an alternate way of doing it. I'd love to hear in the comments. Wild Food says 1 million IQ moves. Hey, thank you. That is high praise. Caleb, yeah, I would definitely recommend against dislocating your knees though. 70 IQ, killing me, Caleb. All right, let's see, hip flexors. We're gonna stretch these muscles in the front of the hip. So we're gonna start with this side over here. So that hip is gonna be to the back. You're going to push your hips forward till you feel a stretch here from your spine down into your thigh. So right in this region here. Now you don't want to arch your back. You want to try and bring your hips forward, keeping your back straight, because these muscles actually attach into your spine. So if you arch your back, you're actually shortening those muscles and you don't get the same stretch. So you want to try and keep that spine straight, just pushing your hips forward till you feel that stretch right here. And holding that stretch for 20 seconds. So if we take the average, I'll take the 100 IQ. That works for me. So you feel tightness in your lower spine, but it feels good. Good tightness, that would make sense because this actually attaches into that spine right up by the hips in this area. No, I'm not going to dislocate my knee so I can show you how to get back in. That's something if you actually have dislocated knees, so you're going to need to go seek medical attention. That's not what we're doing here. Should your hamstring burn, or am I putting too much weight on it? So it should not burn your hamstring. Are you saying in this front leg your hamstring is burning? Or in the back leg back in here? Is it burning in the back here? So in this one, if it is burning in the front, you can bend your knee a little bit closer to take some pressure off. In the back, if it's burning in the back, I would be careful of that. Do you have any numbness or tingling in your hip? Oh, front of, I see. Okay, yeah, if it's burning in the front, if you bend your knee a little bit more, it will take some tension off that muscle and it should be a little easier. If you need to, you could even go to more of a standing position and do the same thing, bringing your hips forward like that. And that can take some of the stress off the hamstring. Try and doing it standing more runner's stretch. That might get a little less on that hamstring where you don't have that burning sensation. So this one, I like the kneeling one because it locks in the knee. But if this is not a comfortable position for your front leg, you can always do this a little standing rather than kneeling. Bending the knee works. Does that indicate a health issue? So not necessarily a health issue, but I would say it might be that your hamstring is a little bit short or weak potentially. I would be hard. I can't tell you that without actually seeing how much you can do with it and how it moves. But I would definitely look into saying, okay, what could you do to increase the flexibility? Doing hamstring stretches like this, where you've got one leg out to the front, bringing forward, trying to increase the flexibility of that. And then exercise-wise, I would do something like you could do a Romanian deadlift or other exercises that work the hamstring, like a hamstring curl, to strengthen those hamstrings, because we want to improve the flexibility and the strength. And that might be what's causing a burning feeling, because the muscle is fatiguing or shortened. Hey, this is encouraging you to work out more. I agree with you. Hey, thank you. That's great. That's what we want here. We want to help. I want to help people to move all through their life. And we're focusing today on flexibility and improving that, which is one aspect of fitness. But I'd love to be able to help people in all those aspects, because I want people to live happy, healthy lives and be able to keep on moving. So another thing you can do for the hamstrings, if you have a wall or a post you can put your legs against, is you can put your heel up against the wall and then try and straighten your knee so you feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. This is a good hamstring stretch all the way from your hip up your thigh to the back of the knee. So if you can't quite get your knee completely straight, that's fine if it's bent like this. As long as you feel that stretch, you might feel like, oh man, I can't get it nearly that straight. That's okay. Just go to where you feel that stretch in the hamstring. And then as you go, you can work at getting it straighter and straighter to where eventually you're straight up against the wall. So this I like because it gives you, the ground stabilizes your spine as you're stretching your hamstring. Do I have a specific diet? So I don't have a specific diet plan, if that's what you're asking. What I do is I try and keep my calories within a particular range. I take my weight times 15, and then if I'm trying to lose weight, I subtract 200 calories. If I'm trying to gain weight, I add 200 calories to that. The higher asks, how long will we live? That's a good question I do not have an answer to. That is a good question though. So there's things you can do to improve your lifespan potentially. Eat healthy, stay active, but there's no guarantees in life. So yeah, like really only God knows how long we're gonna live. I don't have those answers, but it's a good question. So just stretched hamstrings. Now we're gonna stretch a little bit more of these inside adductor muscles. So what you're gonna do is we'll do this kneeling. You're gonna bring one leg out to the side with your toe pointed straight forward. And then from here, you're gonna sit down to the back Bring your chest down towards the ground, feeling a stretch on the inner part of your thigh. So Wild Food says, nice, when I did that at wall hamstring exercises, my under knee, a moment, can't see because the emoji. My under knee hurts. Does that mean I need to be more flexible? So if it hurt, try bending your knee a little bit more. If it hurt, you're probably stretching it too much. Just go to where you feel tension. If it hurts at any distance though, it might mean you have a little bit might mean you have tearing or inflammation or something like that. Or it could be you might have a little bit of nerve pinch up higher than that. Feels better, I'm at 90 degrees, right? Yeah, so if you feel a stretch but no pain at 90 degrees, it's probably that your hamstrings are pretty short. I would work at stretching those. You could do that a couple times a day, every day, and that will help stretch out those muscles. Just like working with weights, multiple sets of stretching are going to make it so you gain flexibility faster. Just a little burn, but feels good. That's excellent. That's what you want. That little bit, that burn where you're feeling some effect in the muscle, and then doing that. If you do that even every day, as long as it doesn't hurt, that can help you gain flexibility. That's what I would recommend. A lot of people treat flexibility different than weightlifting, and they're actually very similar in a lot of ways, I think. The studies on it have shown that there's actually some overlap between the two, where multiple sets benefit both, and they even studied that sometimes stretching can help increase muscle growth. There was a study done for the calf, I believe. I don't remember all the specifics, but they did a stretch on it and found that they actually had a muscle size increase as well. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, stretching the inner part of the thigh. So pointing your toe towards the front, you're going to sit down towards your heel, feeling a stretch on the inner part of your thigh. Bring your chest down towards the ground. If you're enjoying this content and want to see more, I plan on being online again tomorrow at this time, about 2 p.m. Pacific time. So we started about 30 minutes ago and are going to go just a little bit longer today. So if you want to do this more and want to do more stretching, I will be online tomorrow. So love to see you guys there. You wish I were your PE teacher? Hey, thank you, I appreciate that. There's a lot of good PE teachers out there, but I'm glad that I'm helping you out. So I'm gonna call it a day here, but I'd love to see you guys around tomorrow. Thank you everyone for being here. If you were just meeting, my name is Greg. I have a degree in exercise science, and I hope to see you guys next time. See you tomorrow at 2 Pacific time. Well, there's no time like the present to start learning and becoming active, right? We can't change the past, but we can change what's happening in the future. I am West Coast.